All right. Hello everyone. I hope you can hear me. Um, I'm calling in from a coffee shop because the traffic was way too long to get back to where I need to be. But Seth is with me. If you can hear us, please say hi. Um, Hello, Sylvia. Hi. Hi, how are you doing? Okay. So Seth will do most of the driving today in here because A, I'm sick, and B, it's also a little bit loud here, but I definitely didn't want to skip this one for sure. And today we're going to talk about all about the formulation creation and how to get your CAS numbers and also the SDS report. Um, in not bad, Sylvia. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's get started. Seth, I'm going to share my screen right now, and then maybe you can guide me through a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, I will let me just see what best version we can get so you can see most of the screen. And I think this is this one. And then just let me know if you can see the screen already.
I can also share screen if that's easier for you.
Yeah, I mean, that would work too. Let me just remove myself and then you share the screen.
Okay.
Thank you, Sylvia. Yeah.
So share screen. Let's see. Window. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Let's do. Um, let's see. Entire screen. Let's go with that. Window. Okay. It doesn't. I'm having technical difficulties here. One moment, please. And sharing screen. Present. Share screen. And window. Can we share on multiple monitors here, or can you hear me?
Let me share. Yeah, let me share. Let me share.
Okay.
Let me share. I think it's easier.
All
Okay.
right.
Because you have multiple monitors. Okay, let me share. Here we go. All right. So let's go to the inventory and start from here because that is the most or where you basically do all of your adjustments. So when you're in the inventory, we talked about already last time what you can adjust all in the inventory. Now, specifically today, we wanted to talk about CAS numbers equaling, seeing all the allergens and percentages then while you're formulating. And Seth, I just wanted to, before I hand over to you and you guide me through, and I
Mhm.
can do this, I just wanted to show everyone where to get the CAS numbers and how to get them. So for essential oils, it is a little bit more complicated because it's not a very common thing suppliers tend to give out. But they still exist. And if you go, for example, let's go to Nature's Gift. I'm going to just go to Nature's Gift over and see they have batch numbers here. So mostly what you will find, let's see the last batch number or one of the batch numbers. Mostly what you get as an aromatherapist is like a beautiful GCMS report, but rarely they give you the CAS numbers. And that is a problem mostly because they're not obliged to give it to you, but they have them. So if you go back to your supplier and you ask for the CAS number, it's certainly something they do know. Now, some have CAS numbers, and let me just find something for example, ylang ylang. Um, and let's find someone who might have a CAS number. For example, Perfumers World has them. So everybody else except suppliers for aromatherapy, essential oils, they really don't support them or give them to you. But if you go, for example, Eden Botanicals, they name the CAS number right here and there. So the CAS number is basically the number every single constituent but also product has a CAS number that is globally accessible and that is also globally used by every authority out there. So the CAS number is like an identifier for a specific preservative and for a specific product. And those CAS numbers you need in order to get the allergen and everything right from the allergen list. Hey Seth, I think you have your emails on. That's always like a loud beep. Sure, if you can maybe turn them on off. Okay, so ylang ylang, for example, also has a CAS number, and that here on this side, Perfumers World, they mention them as well. Normally, CAS numbers are available in MSDS reports and or SDS reports. So let's see if we find one here. Okay, here's the CAS number. So IFRA restricted materials, ylang ylang oil, 8006813. CAS numbers always come with these two dashes in between. So you want to make sure you find them in your documentation. And in this case, it's 100% concentration because it's 100% ylang ylang oil. And you will need these CAS numbers in order to get accurate allergen reports back. And you can also see here the topical application for the different classes for lip products, for example, or if we go down here, laundry products, facial moisturizers, 5B. That's probably something every aromatherapist will have a facial moisturizer, anything what goes to hand cream. Let's see what else. Often we have air fresheners or aerosol. If we use aerosol containers, then we need to look at the category 10B. Let's see what else. And that's pretty much like body. Oh, here we go. Body creams, oils, lotions, foot cream is category 5A. So this is all in Blend Precisely, and you basically don't need to worry about any of these numbers here because we will give them to you. Before, you have to go and find the documents, you have to look at the CAS numbers, you have to go into IFRA, you need to check these ones per ingredient, per constituent, not anymore. So you need to know what you're producing. If you're producing an oil or a lotion or a cream, you need to know if it is a 5A or 5D. Now, going back to Blend Precisely, those ones are available in here. See how they all come up, 5A, 5B, 5C. So what you want to do is know definitely what you're producing or what you're formulating. Then you put this one to 5A, and then you can start formulation. You do want to...
excuse me, Katrin. I can present my screen now. That's easier for your voice.
Yeah, okay. Let me just finish up this part and then we can switch over. So
Okay.
We also have hydrous and anhydrous. So mostly as essential oils and aromatherapists, we do anhydrous products. I do encourage everyone to, when they want to broaden their product their product offerings, it is a good idea to go into lotions and creams as an aromatherapist as well, because many people prefer lotions and creams over oil-based anhydrous products. So this one will then give you the possibility to actually create with water and everything else. So I just wanted to put this out there and how to find the CAS numbers. So Lotion Crafter has it written right here. And I'm going to enter this one and hand over to Seth. So Olive Squalene, for example, has the CAS number 111013. Let me go over here to my inventory and look for Olive. Let's see if I have it in here already in my inventory. I do actually. Okay, great. So let me go and enter the CAS number here. I'm just basically pasting it in, click the little check item, and then squalene comes up, and then I would put 100% because I'm using 100%, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click save. It gives you already an indication here if it's going to be a risk or not. And in this case, you'll be safe and it's not a risk. So that's perfect. Very different with essential oils. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Seth right now.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. Is it visible, Katrin?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's empty.
I see. Let me try that again.
Yeah, sometimes it's harder to work with two monitors than just one.
Yeah, I think so. 1 moment, please. This will take just a second. Share screen and entire screen. Let's do screen 1 and see if that works. How about now?
Nope.
Still not?
Nope.
Wow.
Okay.
One more try, and then I'll give up after that.
Okay.
All right, share screen, entire screen, screen 2, share. How about now?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing coming across. At least not for me. I don't know if anybody else can see it. Now. Now. Okay. It took a while.
Okay.
Okay. I can see the chat.
All right. Well, that's not the one you should be seeing. This is fun. Okay. Well, how about now?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I can see. Make it big and I can see it. Okay.
Nice.
Great.
Okay.
You know
All
what?
right.
I'm going to take us out so everybody can see the full screen. Here we go. All right.
Great. Okay. So this has been a big project. So let me kind of take you through the paces and maybe compare a little bit with aromatherapy. So in aromatherapy, a lot of times you're concerned with constituents that have certain therapeutic properties. So, for example, we have this advanced view, which you can look up therapeutic properties for, say, analgesic or something like that. These are the primary concerns, and I can see all the ones that are analgesic. Over in the cosmetic world, the concerns are much more about the IFRA things. And just for reference, let's just go look up what IFRA is, just in case you're unfamiliar with it. I think there's, all right, here's the standards library. And let's see, for standards documentation. Okay. So this is used internationally and much more in Europe than here. And the latest one is the IFRA 51st Amendment.
Actually, Seth, I just read up for Canada, for example, as well. They very much go by those standards as well.
I see. Okay. So here we go. This is the document. We'll just save that and see what it says. Let's see. Let me pull it up off my computer.
So the IFRA standards, just while he pulls it off, is at the 51st Amendment, and they have been going since 1978, I believe, and they have amendments every few years. But the last big one was definitely where they added way more allergens to the list as well. So they went from 26 to 82 allergens now, and those ones are very much in the essential oils. But I mentioned that already on Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. So just to repeat, the IFRA is more about what's allowed and what's not allowed, and part of that is what's allowed in terms of these different categories that Katrin was mentioning. So let me pull up a product that we did for you here. And let's just take a look at some of the things. So we've given you a tab. You'll see a status to indicate that there is some kind of IFRA that associated with this product. And it tells you this one's got geraniol in it, and there's no IFRA limit that's specified here. But you have to notice that it says see also IFRA summary tab. although there's no limit, there is information in the documentation I just pointed at over here that's very dense and complicated and difficult to read, which has been parsed apart. So, for example, if we look at geraniol, it does have a dermal sensitizing systemic toxicity, but it doesn't really say, well, here's the limit. No limit specified. So it's important to remember that this is with respect to the category. So in this case, for category 12, it's not used on the skin, and you're not doing anything dangerous with it. But the second I say, okay, I'm going to put it on the skin, it says, oh, wait, you've completely exceeded your limit, which is defined by IFRA as 0.78%, essentially. And the total, as computed by Blend Precisely, is 2.56.
So, Seth, can you go back there? I just wanted to pause there for a moment because it's so new for everyone.
Yeah.
To just look at geraniol, for example. So geraniol is in a few oils in part of the constituents. And what you see here, can we just make this a little bit larger even? Can you Yeah. I think that's really important because it's so easy now to, and hover over one more time, please. It's so easy now to recognize. So basically, geraniol, the quantity is 0.5%, and the IFRA limit is 0.78%. And then you will be able to see in this little screen, but also over an IFRA summary. Can you just go down and over to IFRA summary? Sorry, not down. You will see then also immediately the differences. So when there's a negative and a red number, that means you're over the limit.
Yeah. So if you lower the amount to the quantity to less than this, and the way that you would do that would be simply decreasing this amount to, like, say 1 or something like that. And in this case, that wasn't. The problem is not in this one. So this is an important distinction. You'll see that the IFRA limit is 0.78, but the quantity that you're using for this African bluegrass is 0.05. What the heck? And the reason is because the total has been exceeded. If you look down here, the amount of geraniol is like way over. And so when it turns red, it's telling you there's something wrong. It may not be exactly with this, but this geraniol here is contributing to the total. So rather than make you try and figure that out, here we have this IFRA summary tab where it tells you the combined constituent totals. So where you can very easily say, oh, okay, the sum of the geraniol is this. So I need to take one of those to a different level. And lower down, we tell you what they are for each individual constituent. So we can see for African bluegrass, the contributing amount is this. No problem. You could actually have room to go. But for the stock blend, it's actually using way too much. So that's why we do it in this way, is to make it clear to you that there's a problem. If you don't notice anything else, it's just if it says red, there's a problem. And one other thing I wanted to point out is, before I said, oh, there's no risk for geraniol, but now there is. And it's because of the category. You're putting this formula on your skin, and IFRA is saying, we're not going to allow that. And so in this case, it's telling you, well, it's because there's something that will irritate your skin. So I hope that was clear. If not,
let's pause for a moment too, because it's so important that we can answer questions. So please do ask questions in between, because it is a very new addition to Blend Precisely, which will, once you've learned it, make your life extremely easy to produce something within a few minutes and see immediately, am I going to be over or under? Which normally, to be honest, when I did all of these calculations by myself, I set over my final formula for my diploma, skincare diploma. I set 6 hours to go back and forth to just have one formulation correct. And in this case here, it would have been done in 10 minutes. So I wish I would have done it way back then. Can you just take this one ingredient, Seth, and show actually where now the information is coming from? Because you
Yeah,
entered
sure.
those CAS numbers, right? To
Right.
just, which one is it? Okay, yeah. If you could just show
Yeah.
that. So
So you go over to inventory. You can either do it by clicking on inventory, or you can go back to your formulation. Don't want to go there. Let's go to skincare demo. Skincare. You can also go to this little hamburger symbol here, and it'll pull it up right there. And we're looking for African bluegrass. Did I type that wrong? Demo. Well, let's go over to inventory and get it from there.
where did you put it?
Where the heck did I put that? Oh, I'm on carrier oil.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. You fell into one trap.
I fell into my own trap. Okay, so African bluegrass. So you can go over to a little button here under CAS, and this is where I've entered. And when you're entering, you also get to see the IFRA limits or the issues with the ingredients.
Well, not the issue with the ingredients, but basically the risks IFRA is saying, which is
sorry, constituent is a better word. So,
yeah.
All right, and so for the demo, these are completely arbitrary, made up. This is not what exists in the real African bluegrass. Just to be clear. So there's two ways to add, and one is by adding by name. And personally, I prefer this. Like if you have something like, oh, I see I have linalool as a constituent, I can just type it in, and you'll see if it's an IFRA or not. I think for people that are doing cosmetics, that's pretty much the only question you're really asking is it an IFRA? Because when you're formulating and creating, you're doing something like, is this a face cream, or is this for healing scars, or whatever it is? And in the aromatherapy world, you don't care one bit about IFRA. It's just not on your map. But for the cosmetic people, it's everything, and you don't really need to look up arbitrary CAS numbers. In the aromatherapy world, you're probably going to be looking up constituents if you want, and putting them in this way. And we do a little magic behind the scenes where we go off to a scientific resource and say, okay, we recognize that CAS number, and then we populate the information. But for things that aren't IFRA related in the cosmetic world, you don't really care. So that you'll find that this is much easier and faster to do what you want to do.
So Seth, I just wanted to double check. I think you said it maybe the other way around. As aromatherapists, you would enter the constituent name rather than the CAS number. Is that correct?
No. So you can add by name, but when you add by name, it's only looking in the IFRA standards.
Right. Oh, I see. I see what you mean. Okay, so basically, when like I'm gonna pull up a ylang GCMS report, but keep on going.
Okay, all right. So it, it is a little bit complex. The entire cosmetic world is a little bit complex, and we've spoken with, I would say, between 5 and 6 real internationally known professional people. And it's for me as a non-cosmetic or aromatherapist, I'm just purely on the technical side here. Um, it's it's complicated, and I want to make it very, very simple as much as I possibly can get away with. Um, and I think, believe it or not, what we're showing you is the simple way. This is, as Katrine mentioned, there's a much worse, much more painful path that they actually teach in cosmetic school. So the I think the process that you need to go through to get familiar with this is to simply come up with a recipe you like and just start playing around with it. And you can reach out to us at any time. We're happy. I'm personally very happy to walk you through it. I feel very comfortable with what we've created here, and I'm quite certain it will save you a lot of time and effort and pain.
Yeah. So thank you. Can you stop sharing? So I'm gonna go and find and wanted to show one more time the GCMS report versus the STS and MSTS report.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to open up my Chrome window now. And I'm going, everybody that knows me, I'm a big fan of Floriana for two reasons. First of all, they have mostly organic oils for very fair prices. But secondly, they have great documentation. And so I'm here right now on Ylang. And when I go down to technical documents, you see there the GCMS reports, MSDS reports, and the technical data sheet. And I just want to, so you get slowly familiar with everything, I'm going to download each of those ones. And I will open them up. And I think it gives you a little bit more of a better understanding what is behind and what also I think really aromatherapists should take care of. So first of all, we all know a GCMS report. And by the way, Seth is working on this one in the back end. So we can get finally the lab aroma features in there everybody's asking for. And that will happen, right, Seth?
We heard you.
Yeah, so it's really not too far out anymore, and you will get the possibilities of getting your GCMS reports read and shown to you. But let's definitely look at this GCMS report. And everybody is different, every supplier is different. But Floriana does give you the possibility already to see the allergens or the constituents right away here with a little asterisk. That was loud. And you can see here benzoate, and then we have this, I can hardly pronounce these names, but you can see those ones. Linalool I can pronounce, neural, geraniol, and geraniol. So these ones are the constituents here for ylang. And ylang is one of the oils that has many allergens in it, actually, also farnesol. It also gives you the percentages. Now, when you open up the material safety data sheet, the MSDS, it will give you here the CAS number, but it will also, let me go down here, give you a CAS number for every single individual constituent. Now, in IFA, they use mostly this CAS number up here, the 806813. What I would definitely encourage, especially for the aromatherapist, is do it once, put in these CAS numbers, and then put the percentage from your GCMS, because we are very familiar with GCMS reports as aromatherapists. Just match them up, take the CAS number here, and put them into Ylang. Let me just go up here and see if I get Yearling. It might be that I already entered it also. Let me see. Oh, here we go. So you can then just literally add another constituent, put it in here, and go back to the document for a moment and see which one it was, and grab the correct one from here. That in itself will make it very, very accurate, the combination you get and the readings you get as well. So you would grab them from the MSDS reports and also match them up with the GCMS reports. So there is also the technical data sheet, and that one has also the CAS number in it. So you want to, if the GCMS report does not have the the CAS numbers, go for the SDS report or the MSDS report. And I will actually, in my next email, I will write the differences in there, and I will also give you like a little bit of an overview what to ask for with your suppliers. If they deny you these documents, that should be a red flag. The same like if they deny you a GCMS report, it should be a red flag. Suppliers should be able to supply you with a technical data sheet and also an MSDS report. And I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, great. Did you want to talk about having a whole essential oil in IFRA versus the constituents, or is that too much for this talk?
That I just did that a little bit with the ylang ylang, because the ylang ylang is one of those oils where you really have one CAS number, the 800 163, I think, CAS number. And if you put that one in as an oil, that is something where IFRA is fine with. But I just suggested that putting in the constituents of the IFRA document itself would be a better way and a more accurate way. It's depending how accurate you want to go. I'm always on the side being cautious, being very accurate with my data, especially if I sell the products, especially if I give them to someone. But it's completely up to you actually to make that judge call.
Right. So it's interesting that IFRA actually selects specific essential oils to say something about, but it doesn't cover all of them, which is interesting.
But that is an IFRA. I think they still are also now, because of the new allergens, like adding new information as it goes, and we will update them as well. So right now we are at the 51st amendment. I'm sure over the next years there will be more amendments coming, and we will add them as necessary and update our database with that as well.
Right. So the official rules, as I've read them from IFRA, because it can be confusing. It's like, do you choose the constituents or do you use the whole thing, as Katrine's talking about? And what IFRA says about this is, if you have the details, use that. So if you don't have the details, you can get away with using the CAS number for ylang ylang or another essential oil. So it's all, even though they're the standards body, they have some interesting things that they're doing there.
Yeah. So let's see, are there any questions around the IFRA and the CAS numbers specifically, and or the categories as well? Let me know in the comments, and let me go through one more time. Sylvia was saying, I like that it tells me what is not right, and giving me the red flag. Yeah, so that's gonna be super helpful while formulating. And actually that brings me just to one more point, that when you enter your ingredients correctly the first time, then you will be able to use it in your formulations over and over again, and you don't have the headaches. So it's like entering the first time your inventory, entering the first time your CAS numbers, entering everything for the first time. There's more work involved, but we are also working on pre-populating the CAS numbers more for you in the back end, in case you want to use our inventory system. Our products we have already pre-populated, but I would say enter them once and then really drive safely the whole time.
So can I share screen one more time?
Yeah. Oops.
Screen one. Okay, let's see if I can get away with this. All right, can you see my screen? No?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Now. I think it just takes a little while. So I see the chat again.
Okay, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Let me just move this over there. Okay, so can you see my window yet?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have, if you're coming from the aromatherapy world, the formulation is roughly the same. The packaging is roughly the same. Let me pull up the product just to show you. Hello.
Seth, your battery is low. That might be.
Okay. All right. Okay. So here's the formulation. Packaging, we have none. Pricing, slightly rearranged from what you see over on aromatherapy. If for some reason new, you still have the Tisserand safety warnings. So we don't have anything currently, but if I were to put in like, I think Emerus has some safety warnings.
I think Ylang as well.
Or Anise, I think actually has something. Anise, let's just say, yeah, okay, so it's got anise in there. Yep, so don't use, so we have all of the Tisserand safety warnings. And we tucked away some things that you're familiar with over in the sidebar. So you still have the dilution ratio over here. You're no longer going to be able to adjust the DR, but in this case, there's, yeah, so we have that. You have the endangered plants. And in addition to what you could do before, you can also save notes like this is a demo formulation, and you come out and say save, and there you go. So
also, can you just show one more time, sorry, the label section that you can create your own or readjust the labels as well?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's an important one. So as it turns out, we spoke with Marie Gale, who's a label expert, and she was advising us on the structure of what's used in the US. And after speaking to some cosmetic people, it turns out there's many variations. So if you don't see what you like, you can say copy that and paste it and add in anything you want and just save it. And then this will come up every time afterwards, and you can use that however you like. One of the things that we're going to be adding, which is important for cosmetic people, is to know what the allergens are. So we'll be adding that into one of these readily available labels as well.
Yeah, so that would be like, for example, geraniol would show up at the end of the label. Often you see it with an asterisk, geraniol, linalool, like all these allergens need to be added to the end of the label. And that will be also automatically added by us. And so you don't need to think about it.
Yeah, one of the points, so the notes that you have here, this is for the whole product. There's also something which the cosmetic people requested was to be able to make comments about like a specific raw or ingredient here. So that's important to note.
Yeah, I use it in aromatherapy to just give a use case. For example, per ingredient is when I, for example, receive my oils, I do immediately like a quality check test and I add that so I know it exactly, especially if I have lavender, for example, from different companies, I immediately say, the label or how it arrived, when it arrived, in what temperature I'm putting the lavender oil in, and so on. So I make my little own remarks for the oils I receive, and they will be then visible per ingredient. So where Seth is hovering over the little blue one, that is where I would put my notes then. And you can put those notes in the inventory section and over here while you're actually formulating. So in case you see something that you didn't see before, you can just add this note quickly and say, oh, the cap was broken, or the smell is off, or the aroma doesn't seem right, the color doesn't seem right. Anything like this you can add.
Right. Also, one thing I also want to make mention of, we are in this formula, we're using a stock blend. So it actually says stock blend at the top here. One of the difficult problems from a math perspective, and I hope you never have to do this on your own by hand, but all of the numbers that you see in terms of the sum of what's in the stock blend, even though you're using 55% of it here, you have to do some math to say of the 55%, a certain percentage of the citronol is being used, and then summing that up with other constituents is some of the complicated stuff we're doing for you. And it all gets summarized here. So even if the point is, even if you have a stock blend, we're counting all the things that you added into the stock blend as well. So you literally get a complete picture of all the pieces that are involved. So I think that's about it. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Katrin?
Yeah, I just wanted to really, really say how many hours you spent over calculations. And let me just stop the screen.
Oh, I'm sharing. I'll stop.
How many hours you were really making sure the calculations and everything. I would have gone completely out of my mind crazy, and I don't know even if I would ever do cosmetic formulation again, if I would need to calculate all of that, or even aromatherapy, like both of them. So I just wanted to really give a special thanks there to Seth, because he's the math brain, and I'm extremely, well, you just have the engineering brain, and I'm so reluctant to go into that. And I would just whatever, use drops and do all of this. And even so, I would feel totally bad. I would never give it to a customer. So because I wouldn't feel safe if I calculated it right. So I wanted to give really like a big, big shout out and thank you to Seth, because he's been really doing all the work inside of Blend Precisely, and the calculations and the programming on top of it. I just basically always said, oh, I want that. And he's like, okay, let me try to figure that one out. So without Seth, this whole thing would not stand, exist, or be usable. So I just wanted to make sure that I put this out there. And you say calculations, but oh boy, I saw these papers, and I didn't understand any of that. Nothing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and you're still married to me, so thank you for that too.
Yeah. So to be honest, when we started, when I first saw what aromatherapy was about, it looked like just kind of like making nice smells or something, and I could not believe the amount of effort that an individual has to go through to say, I have this idea, I'm going to start experimenting, mixing, and then I have a client and I need to do intake and shipping. And, it's like, there's a lot to do, and it's just too much. It was definitely stressful for Katrin in the very beginning. And even though we had a shop over in Lisbon and it was very cute and fun, it's, you want to have fun more than you want to work. So
Yeah, definitely. Especially if your main focus as a business is You need to get out there, make money, do marketing, sales, all of that. Who has frickin' the time to do these calculations? So thank you for that.
Yep.
All right. Are there any more questions right now? I think so. I said that the last time already, but the best thing is take one of your formulations, put in the CAS numbers, find them. Don't get frustrated because it's like everything else in life. You have to figure it out once, do it a few more times, and it will be fine. But what Seth said, we are more than happy to jump on an onboarding call to take a specific case you have, and I will send an email out next week where we will be available, where you can book a call if you want. The last thing we want for you is to get stranded, get unexcited about your plans or anything else. That's not what we mean to do. Quite the opposite. So definitely let us know where you need help and how we can help you.
Call
All
me.
right. Like that. Okay. The old school way he works as well. It looks like Seth is a big
That
talker.
was
He
me.
likes to. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Let me just, I want to just keep 30 seconds to see if anybody has a question. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. Yeah, you're so welcome, Laurel. And thanks also for recognizing that. And it's very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Seth. I really appreciate all your hard work. I keep telling everyone how much easier my life is using Blend Precisely. Big thank you to Katrine too, right? Yeah, because I'm like, I want that. I'm being like a little brat over here.
She's being very,
So
very modest.
yeah, absolutely. No, thank you so much. And then also just a quick reminder for everyone that the tutorials are inside of Blend Precisely, and we keep on updating them. So keep on searching for them in the searchy tool you've gotten there. By the way, they change it now to membership.io, I think it will be called. So it's still the same tool. Anyway, thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend. And we will definitely talk next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.